Today's true story from the Bible comes from Genesis chapter 12. This is Abram. One day, his life got turned upside down, but in a really cool way. God paid him a visit and called him to leave his home and his people and travel to a land God would show him. God also promised he would make Abram's name great and give him a great family, and one day the whole world would be blessed by them. And that's a supersized promise. Abram obeyed God and left his home with his wife and his nephew Lot. No map, no plan, just God's word that he'd come through. They finally stopped in a land called Canaan. God told Abram this was the place, that one day all the land there would be his. Now, Abram was doing okay for himself. He was rich and had lots of cattle and sheep, and so did the nephew, Lot. But one problem. Their flocks and herds had gotten too big to share the same land. The herdsman looking after Lot's animals started arguing with the herdsman looking after Abram's animals. And it got so bad, Abram was like, "Lot, we have to split up." Abram was the older relative. He could have told Lot where to put his animals, but instead he gave Lot first pick of the land. He said, "If you go left, I'll go to the right. If you go right, I'll go left." Abram trusted God was in control, and it would all work out no matter what Lot chose, and no matter what Abram was left with. Lot's eyes were drawn to the Jordan Valley. It had amazing farmland, but it was right next to the city of Sodom. And bad stuff was going down in Sodom. It had a reputation for being downright wicked. If I'm Lot, I'm thinking I need to hear what God has to say about this. But Lot just knew he wanted that land, wicked or not. He chose it and settled there. Meanwhile, Abram needed to choose his spot, and he kept his ears open for what the Lord had to say. The Lord said, "Look around you. All the land you see will belong to your family forever, and you will have as many family members as there are pieces of dust on the earth." God was reminding Abram of the promises he'd made to him. And I guess it helped, knowing God was going to take care of him no matter what, because Abram chose a new place in Canaan, and he built an altar there to worship the Lord. Soon, trouble started brewing in Lot's neck of the woods. Battle had broken out among the kings, and Lot was taken captive. When word got to Abram, he gathered his men and went to help. He defeated Lot's captors and brought Lot home. It hadn't all been sunshine and rainbows between Lot and Abram, but God had taken care of both of them. Abram put all of his trust in God, believing he was good and would always keep his promises. And he showed grace and love to Lot when Lot needed to be rescued. Part of God's promise to Abraham was that one day all the nations would be blessed by his family. Hundreds of years later, God would send his rescuer, Jesus, through Abram's family to rescue us.